Start again. Welcome to the first class of aquascaping. Welcome to the world of aquascaping. It's an amazing hobby and
एक्वेरियम एंड फिश कीपिंग का हॉबी हमें खुशियां देती है, हमें जिज्ञासु बनाती है एंड इसके लिए जानकारी सिर्फ 3 मिनट में मयूर देव क्लिप्स में आप देख सकोगे। तो देखो।
said we want to understand anything and everything about aquascaping. That's our whole intention. Why do we need to aquascape? What goes into aquascaping? Which are the equipment? Which are the things that we use? Where should we do it, or where should we get this stuff? When, and of course how we go about this whole thing. To start, let's try and understand what aquascaping is all about. Now, most of you have probably been aquascaping, but we're starting with the basics, but that's what I believe is the best way to learn. Start from the basics. If you understand the basic properly, then whatever you do next can be very interesting or more thought out, or with a proper process, an educated, understood effort. So what is aquascaping? Aquascaping, the way I would term it, is an art form where, unlike an artist who paints something imaginary or what is their actual, what we do is we create art in which live animals, live plants survive. Okay, we create art from everything that is alive. We create art for things that will use your art, like fish, plants. They will be part of your art and they will get benefit from it. That's what I meant by saying use. So it's actually a very, very unique art form, because you are not just working with your imagination here. Your imagination of what an aquascape should be should also be correct for the flora and fauna that you're going to have in that aquascape. Example here is, if you want to have a Monte Carlo carpet and you want to create an aquascape, a lawn kind of a aquascape or a meadow kind of an aquascape, then you want soft water where the pH is low, otherwise the plant will not grow. So your art is not complete. So this is what I mean by the art being actually part of the whole aquascape, and the whole components being part of your aquascape, and everything should match. So your art form should also be or encompass a lot of other things. The type of fish you want to use, the type of plants you want to grow, the color of plants you want to grow, so on and so forth. This actually changes everything around that aquascape, right? So the other thing is, this is the only art where you need to learn botany, chemistry, zoology, gardening, botany again, no, gardening. But you need to have an understanding of all these things. Plus, you need to have an understanding of electrical, electronics, plumbing, carpentry, what else? Soil, sand, earth, water parameters. You can't create this art without knowing all of these things, or without understanding all of these things. Of course, there's more. Okay, there's a lot more. There's a lot of physics involved, and of course, there is your creativity, there is your talent, there is your imagination, all of this. So that's what makes this art form so unique, because it kind of encompasses life. Was that a quote of some kind? Yeah, it was. Aquascaping is that art form that actually engulfs life, encompasses life. So if you have aquascaping in your life, then your life becomes better. You learn more. You are actually forced to learn more, because you want to achieve something beautiful, magnificent. So again, what is aquascaping? Okay, this is a question that I want you to answer in your own terms. I've said what I wanted to say, but I'm sure you have something to add. So let's understand what aquascaping is, and what is it that makes us want to make an aquascape. Why do we want to make it? And when we make what we make, what it gives us, what happens to us when we make an aquascape. Now, aquascaping also involves us using a lot of sand, soil, wood, stone, different material, natural material. Now, what kind of these natural material can we use and what we cannot use? Why do we need to use it and why not? All of these falls under what we would call a concept or a vision. To start an aquascape, in my belief, is first to learn the aspects that involve an aquascaping, or the aspects that are involved in making a proper aquascape. Can we just use sand and make an aquascape? Do we need to grow plants in an aquascape? Can it just be wood and stone like a hardscape with fish? What can we do? What can we not do? These are things that you need to evaluate. There is always going to be this conundrum of budget. If you look at it from a perspective of an art, then I won't say budget takes a back seat, but it can be done within a stipulated budget. So here you have a budget, you want to achieve your vision or your dream or your concept. You need to see how to amalgamate or blend the two. You need to see what you can use so that you still achieve your vision. So just starting an aquascape doesn't make sense unless you know what plants you want to use and how they will grow. What will your aquascape look like in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? So aquascaping is that art form where we are actually looking into the future. Today we have just few pieces of wood and stone. 6 months down the line, you will have an ecosystem. Do you know today how that ecosystem is going to look? What color?
I believe ये जानकारी आपके लिए फायदेमंद था। ऐसे बहुत सारे छोटे छोटे वीडियोस हैं हमारे इस चैनल में, जो देखो, जानकारी लो, जिज्ञासा अपना पूरी करो एंड ऑफ कोर्स एक्वेरियम एंड फिश कीपिंग हॉबी का पूरा मजा लो। थैंक यू, नमस्ते, खुदाफिश, शबा खैर एंड सत श्री अकाल।